Welcome to the good square of the world of good and evil. Complete the mission and return to the real world. 5 a.m. A burst of urgent alarm woke me up. Then our property management team contacted the community WeChat group. Suddenly a message came. This is a home safety rule. After PM every night. No matter what sound you hear. No cat's eye allowed. 2 medicines and masks not distributed by the community. All are purple. If you see a red pill or mask, please flush down the drain or discard immediately. 3 if your family wear red clothes you've never seen before. Please go back to your room and hide immediately. 4 please check the number of family members carefully. If the quantity is incorrect, please shout prosperity, democracy, civilization and harmony, and jumped out of the window of the room. 5. Do not open the door to any neighbor. 6. Stay at home. Please pay attention to the mental state of your family members. If you walk upside down, or strange behaviors such as laughing uncontrollably, please call Manager Chen immediately. There are only 6 TV channels. If you watch channel 7, please unplug the power cord immediately. If the TV is still playing when the power is unplugged, do whatever it takes to destroy the TV. Disable all calls in the living room. 9 staff will distribute food uniformly. If there is any unknown meat, do not eat. 10 if a family member has difficulty breathing, please leave him alone in the room and lock the door. After I read this message with sleepy eyes, suddenly I woke up a lot. I curled my lips. I just feel like someone is playing a prank. I looked subconsciously. People who send group messages. It turned out to be the property manager Lao Chen. But what I find strange is, how did Lao Chen change his profile picture to an eye? This eye occupies the entire avatar frame. Looks scary. Someone in the owner group quickly replied to the message. Everyone thought that Lao Chen's phone was stolen. That's why I sent such boring messages, until one of the owners sent a photo. The group exploded instantly. Is a man. He fell to the ground with a blue face, foam at the corners of mouth. I was so scared. Asking the group what's going on. My boyfriend doesn't believe it. Just got through to the living room landline. Then I fainted. It's terrible. What should we do? Is it possible to survive by following the rules? Soon the group owner set a ban on group members. The group finally quieted down. At this time, there was a rapid knock on the door. I walked into the door, looking out of the cat's eye. Standing outside the door was Chen Yi, who lived on the same floor. Chen Yi seemed to notice that I was at the door. Suddenly approached the cat's eye. Almost the entire eye is attached to the cat's eye. Meng Meng, are you there? My old man has a fever. Do you have any cold medicine at home? Give me one. Chen Yi's voice was hoarse outside the door. At this moment, I suddenly remembered the rules just now. Don't open the door to any neighbors. Although I am confused about the rules, but I don't have any cold medicine at home. I subconsciously refused. And Chen, I'm sorry, I don't have any cold medicine at home. At this time, and Chen's pupils suddenly dilated in the cat's eyes. Even, I also saw bright red bloodshot in her eyes. Okay, I'll go find someone to borrow it. My old man has had a fever for several days. I don't know what to do. And Chen was about to leave. At this time, my mother's voice came from behind me. Don't leave yet. I just bought some cold medicine this afternoon. My girl doesn't know yet. Wait a minute. I saw Chen Yi outside the door. Suddenly stopped. Then, her head was moving at an extremely slow speed. Slowly turned around, I saw a strange smile on his face. Seeing this, I whispered, "Mom, can't open the door." Then I grabbed my mom's hand. My mother looked at me puzzled. Meng Meng, what's wrong with you? I usually teach your neighbors. Help each other. Just a pack of cold medicine. Don't be so stingy. At this time, a loud noise startled us both. Chen Yi stared blankly ahead in the cat's eyes. Then he banged his head against the door again and again. Soon blood appeared on his forehead. But he seemed to feel no pain. He was still mumbling something. Now even my mother thinks that something is wrong with Chen Yi. Is this person crazy? I didn't answer. Because at this moment, I thought I heard the neighbor next door open the door. What are you arguing about? Can't you let me rest so early in the morning? I saw Chen Yi stop banging on the door. The eyes slowly turned towards the direction of the sound. Moved over. Then Chen Yi's figure disappeared in the cat's eye. Ask you what you want to do. I heard a young man questioning. Next second, a shrill scream came from outside. My mother grabbed my hand in horror. Of course I was nervous too. But the cat's eyes can't see what's happening around you. But soon, Chen Yi appears in Maoyan again. Then I noticed Chen Yi's hand seemed to be dragging something. It seems like a person. It's the young man who lives next door. I was so scared that I covered my mouth, heart racing, when Chen Yi passed by my house. It seems like I noticed something. Stopped again. Then his eyes slowly turned towards me. Until when I saw Chen Yi dragging the dying man in her arms. I just realized that the house rules myth might be true. At this time, Chen Yi outside the door was facing me. His eyes slowly turned around. I was so scared that I squatted down quickly. I was sweating profusely from the nervousness. Fortunately, I heard the footsteps outside. It seems to be getting farther and farther away. Chen Yi must have gone far away. My mother looked horrified. Lift me up. Meng Meng. What is going on? So I showed my mother the news from the owner's group. Suddenly my mother grabbed my hand. He spoke tremblingly. Did you hear any sound? Being reminded like this, I just realized. There was a faint chewing sound coming from the corridor outside the door. It's like someone eating something bite by bite. I swallowed my saliva. Thought, could it be that Chen Yi was eating someone outside the door just now? Sudden, there were several heavy footsteps outside the door. With a bang, the door was smashed with a loud bang. I leaned in close to the cat's eye and looked out. Only the cat's eye. It's actually a bloodshot eyeball. It was Chen Yi. At this time, Chen Yi said, Meng Meng, I see you. I won't take your medicine for nothing. As he spoke, he raised something in his hand and brought it close to the cat's eye. My face looked extremely ugly, if I'm not mistaken. The thing in Chen Yi's hand should be a piece of brain. I was so scared that I stepped back. My mother took out her cell phone and called the police. We ignored Chen Yi outside the door. Instead, he retreated to the living room. 10 minutes later, my mom's phone rang. But after she got through, his face changed again and again. How can that be possible? Did you get the address wrong? In a hurry, my mom turned on the hands-free mode. A man's voice came from inside. I said, Miss, we just went to your house. Ask you what's going on. You just stand there motionless. The smile is creepy. This won't happen again. Then the phone was hung up. My mother and I looked at each other. They both saw deep fear in each other's eyes. It was then that we understood. We may beware. It's not the real world anymore. Our entire community, trapped in a world of rules. I don't know how long it took. There was another knock on the door. Hello. We are here to distribute medical supplies. Please open the door. My mother and I came to the door. Sure enough, there was someone standing outside the door, a staff member in white uniform. I thought about the rules carefully. After confirming that the door can be opened the door carefully. The staff outside the door handed over a bag. Then I left and quickly opened the bag. What comes into view is a pile of red pills and a few red masks. At this moment, I suddenly remembered one of the house rules. So I picked up the bag decisively, throw it into the trash can nearby. At this time, I received a message on my phone. It was sent by the owner. Dear owners, update a rule. Anyone who sleeps tonight must cover themselves with a red quilt. The group member muting function was closed at this time. The group immediately started discussing. What? I don't have a red quilt at home. I don't have one at home. If it doesn't work, can I wear red shorts? I also have red pants. I have you too. How about I lend you one? Looking at the news that the group suddenly became lively, I'm not that panicked anymore. I told my mother about the red quilt. My mother took out a red quilt from the cupboard. Fortunately, we survived the night. The residents without red quilts. It seems that after this night, I haven't seen them post messages in the group again. Fewer and fewer people are talking in the group. A few days later, we have always been careful to follow the rules, but I am almost suffering from nervous breakdown due to the torture. Until the evening of the 5th day, the property manager in the group sent another message. Dear owner, update a rule. After 12 o'clock tonight, those who jump from the balcony have a chance to escape the world of ghost stories. The rest will be trapped in the world of ghost stories forever. I was actually trapped in a world of weird rules at home. At this time, I received a new message from the owner group. Dear owner, update a rule after 12 o'clock tonight. Those who jump from the balcony have a chance to escape the world of ghost stories. The rest will be trapped in the world of ghost stories forever. The group that had been quiet for many days suddenly became lively. What the hell? Do you want me to jump off the building? I'm on the 18th floor. My home is on the 3rd floor. I don't dare jump either. The 3rd floor is about 10 meters high. I looked at the messages in the group and was confused. We live on the 3rd floor. Jump directly from the balcony. If you don't die, you will be paralyzed. But this is a world with weird rules. You can only survive if you follow the rules. Then maybe jumping off a building is the only way out. So I told my mother about my idea. 20 minutes later, my mom and I both wore knee braces on our elbows and knees. Then we came to the balcony. Dream, you said that you can return to your original world by jumping down. Is that true? I don't know either. But it's always here. We might die really soon. My mother and I jumped over the balcony. But what we didn't expect was, after we jumped over the balcony, it actually reached the ground directly. At this time, the open space on the 1st floor was filled with fog. Look carefully. There were already quite a few people in the center of the square not far away. You guys are coming down too. I turned my head and looked. It turned out to be Uncle Wang, who lived in the same building as us. Uncle Wang was my father's colleague in the same unit. He often comes to visit us on weekdays. After Uncle Wang greeted, the three of us walked into the square together. On the bulletin board, with a few clear lines. Welcome to the good square of the world of good and evil. Complete the mission and return to the real world. After the bell, within 30 minutes, find 10 golden keys hidden in the square. 30 minutes later, the bells will ring again. Only the one holding the golden key to leave the world of rules. Just after we read the rules. When the bell rings, it rang. Then there was a broadcast voice. Game start. In a blink, many boxes suddenly appeared in the square. Soon the three of us decided to split up. I opened a box. A foul smell hit. Where is this golden key? This is clearly a garbage dump. At this time, I was pushed hard. Fall directly to the ground. I must go out. I looked up and saw a muscular man. Man with fierce eyes. I was so scared that I couldn't make a sound. Stand up tremblingly. Walk to the box on the other side. At this time, there's no point in arguing. Only if you find the key. Suddenly a voice came. I found it. I found it. I found the golden key. In an instant, everyone looked towards the corner of the square. There stood a young man, holding a golden key in hand. At this time, the man not far from me was the first to rush forward. The surroundings are also crowded. Soon, there was a sound of fighting in the corner of the square. And I once again devoted myself to the search. More than half of the time has passed. Just when I was about to change my place to continue searching, I saw a golden light flashing not far away. I was delighted. Walk quickly to the box. Pretend to search. Then quickly put the golden key in your pocket. But I know, just one key is not enough. I'm going to take my mom with me. Until the last 5 minutes. I still can't find the new key. At this time, the winner has been decided in the corner of the square. The muscular man grabbed the golden key. I found my mom in advance. Meet up with Uncle Wang. To my surprise, my mother also found a key. Meng Meng. Isn't it a coincidence? I actually found it in a box that someone else had searched. Suddenly, a hand snatched a key from my mother's hand. It's Uncle Wang. How could you do this? I'm sorry. No one for himself. Heaven and earth destruction. I want to return to the real world. He ran away. In addition to fear, I handed the key in my hand to my mother, because I'm afraid the time will run out during the snatch. Before I could react, a bell rang in the square. A wave of dizziness came over me. We all fainted. When I wake up again, surrounded by people, an uncle who was unharmed by the firefighter spoke up. You guys, it's really a blessing. At this time, I just found I was lying on the open space at the entrance of the community. My mom was there too. There were about 10 people lying around. Later I learned a huge fire broke out in the community last night. Only a dozen of us survived. But the strange thing is, that muscular man and Uncle Wang, I obviously got the key. I didn't see them. I survived without the key.